Javi. Javi. You do look taller in those shoes. Yes, you do, but it's because your pants are short. It's optical illusion. That's what you're doing there. Welcome.
We're here.
Oh, wait, let's do it again. Take two. Javi, you stepped on the cord again. God damn it.
Look, Ray, let's not do nothing stupid.
Hey, look, Ray, we'll make a new deal. Whatever make you happy. Hey, you want to get high, man?
Damn, I was in that shit, man. I never had no dope like that before in my life, man. That's the heaviest shit I ever smoked, man. I mean, I smoked a lot of shit before, man. But goddamn, man, that's heavy shit.
You okay?
I can't breathe.
Listen, man.
I can't breathe, man.
We're here. Hey, man. Hey, I got something to mail you out, man. You're just freaking out, yeah.
Keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
Yo, who's on munchies tonight, yo?
Not me.
Like I said, be me. What do you guys want? Get some sour cream onion chips with some dip, man. Beef jerky, some peanut butter. Get some Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars, a whole lot of hot. Make sure it's chocolate. Chocolate, man. Some popcorn, bread popcorn, graham crackers. Graham crackers, marshmallows, little marshmallows, and little chocolate bars. And make some s'mores, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yo. Some celery, grape jelly, Captain Crunch, blue crunch berries, pizzas. We need two big pizzas, man. Everything on them with water, a whole lot of water.
Hey, why didn't you tell me we're into this shit, man? We could have been hanging out months ago.
No.
That's the bag, baby. Come on, man. Hang out for a minute. Smoke with me. I got my ball now. Come on.
For you, man. I'll stay for a minute.
You've come through the worst physical reactions. We should begin psychotherapy sessions.
Ray, you're the leader, man. Be one.
Hey, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm gonna
get you high today.
Cause it's Friday.
You ain't
You
got no job.
And you
We got
got
some
shit to do.
Where are the movies?
Get in here, JB. You can
Hey
talk
Sam,
today.
big, huge
Oh,
fan,
not yet.
first
JB,
time
get in.
caller. Here's my piece.
right.
If marijuana is not legal within the next 5 years, I have no faith left in
You make my
humanity.
intro 47
period.
minutes long.
Everyone likes smoking weed. They have for thousands of years. They're not going to stop anytime soon. You know, it makes everything better. It makes food taste better. It makes music better. It makes sex feel better, for God's sake. It makes shitty movies better, you know?
This is it, man. This is what your grandchildren are gonna be smoking.
Future.
That future.
That's amazing. Well, got the weed in the
In the
bag.
container.
There you go. Okay.
We got
are
some
going
bubble
to
gum
light
today.
These two ends while I light this end.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You ready? Ready? I want this one.
Indeed I am.
As your governor, I will be
Too much
committed
coffee.
to helping us become the fastest growing big state economy in
Get
the
in there,
nation.
JB.
I'll be our state's best chief marketing officer
I
to
will.
attract jobs and businesses to Illinois. We'll bring capital and technical assistance and mentorship to help Illinoisans across our state to start and build new businesses and new jobs. Our economic success depends
It
upon
does.
that.
It does, JB.
In the interest of keeping the public safe from harm, and in the interest of expanding true justice in our criminal justice system and advancing economic inclusion, I will work with the legislature to legalize, tax, and regulate the sale of recreational cannabis in Illinois.
I mean,
Calling it
and he's
cannabis.
doing that. And he's doing that right now. Again, that's why you're watching the Cannashow, the first and only live cannabis community comedy podcast show and music show, pushing it right through the YouTubes on the internet, hosted by me, Raymon, Vernon, Parton. Vernon, like the mountain. Parton, the third. What's up, you guys? I'm here with Nikki. She's back on the show. Nikki Sarbin is in the house right now. I hope you guys are having a great Friday night. We prepared for the show today. We got some cannabis news for you. I got 3 cannabis subjects I'm going to talk about on the show today. I'm going to move my mic closer to me. I've had a lot of coffee tonight, 2 big cups. I'm getting jacked up. Welcome to the Cannashow. How are you guys? What's up, Nikki?
I'm good, but how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for coming back to the show.
I am so excited to be back.
I
I'm
love
so excited to be
having
back. I had such good, such feedback, and I really just enjoyed myself going home that night. I just was so excited to be part of it, and I just really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come back.
It feels good to have somebody to have this conversation with, because most of the time I'm just talking cannabis news to myself. But I know that you guys who have subscribed to this channel, and if you did or didn't, go tell somebody. And if you didn't, go subscribe right now. Click the subscription, click the little bell, and you too can be involved in the Cannashow. But it's awesome to have somebody to talk about cannabis with, and to have people subscribing to the channel weekly to get their cannabis news. Earlier on the show, like, I don't know, like show 25, I was like, I'm not going to do a news show. But then I started realizing that the closer we're getting to 1120 people, hashtag 1120, the closer that we're getting, people need to know everything that I mean, there's a lot of questions that people have.
There's no such thing as too much information.
Exactly. There's a lot of questions that people have, from where to get it, where it's going to be, where it's going to be rec, what's the best bowl to use, what's the best papers to use, how do I dab, how do I clean my rig, everything. We're going to talk about jobs, cannabis jobs, that we're going to talk about a fair that what is it that they're having downtown?
The HempStaff event?
HempStaff event, yeah, downtown, where you can get certified, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But
that's going to be exciting. It's really cool.
There's a lot happening in Chicago with cannabis. So again, it's awesome to have more people involved in this show to, spread the word.
Indeed.
Spread the word.
Indeed.
So you guys, again, if you didn't subscribe, go click the little subscription thing right now. Go subscribe, click the bell, and that way, anytime and every time I go live, well, you can be part of the show. If you've looked at the last couple of shows, you can find the phone number. You can actually call in live, but we're not going to do that yet. So stop calling in, Ma. All right? I did the dishes. Stop. But anyway, I'm going to play a couple of songs for you tonight. I have some songs picked out in the description to play for you guys. But Nikki, like the last 3 shows, I've been talking about sponsorships and things that I'm working on for the show. I actually do have a CBD sponsor lined up for the show. I told you guys we're working on it Sunday. He's going to come by. We're going to talk about the involvement that he's going to have in the Cannashow. You guys, I have some interesting news to tell you guys, some things that we're going to be involved in, some separate videos that are going to be on the channel, that the Cannashow is going to be covering some live events here coming up very soon, some sporting events that the CBD company is actually sponsoring. So that's going to be interesting. What else was I talking about? Oh, Wednesday show, I gotta get all the plugs out of the way. I'm sorry, you guys. Wednesday, I'm gonna have Joe Beasley on. He's a comic from Chicago. He's super dope. He's super funny. I think we actually used to work together years and years ago, if that's the comic that I remember talking to. Yeah, I did an open mic, and this comic came up to me. He's like, dude, I know you. And I was like, this comic shit, I mean, it's paying off. Everybody knows me. I had a podcast. He's like, no, dick shit. We used to work together. And I was like, oh, I thought you knew me. And so, but yeah, so he's going to come on the show and talk about some things. So we got the CBD sponsorship, the next couple of shows coming up, bands that are coming on the show as well, and other just super awesome people like the guy behind me, Ramon Esparza. Listen, if you're going to do a podcast, you got to have awesome people on like Nikki and Ramon. I'm sorry. I can't just sit here forever and talk to myself and talk to you guys. I know you like it. I know you like it.
We do.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome. I speak for everybody.
Thank you.
I'm here for them to say, we love it, you silly ass. We love it.
So that's funny.
The world is heavy. You make my life lighter, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, if I could do that week in and week out, well, then that's what I'm here to do.
Cheers.
That's what I'm here to do. It's, again.
You're a delight, Ray.
Well, thank you.
You're a delight.
Thank you. You said something so nice to me last time we were talking outside after your show, at your job. You said my mom did a really good job raising me. So, Mom, you should be proud of that.
I did say that.
She said. I was like,
that
I should
about
tell my
your
mom.
mother. Yeah.
You said you were going to thank my mom. I said, well, that's really nice.
Well, and I say this because there are certain people that you meet in any walk of life. You meet them at the job, or you meet them, there's somebody's in-laws, and or whatever kind of party you meet them. And they're just people you immediately, you feel the good. You can feel the good coming off of them. You can just sense that even in maybe ways that people could misunderstand, that their intentions are always pure. Like, I always call them golden hearts. Like, they're just people that are just good, intrinsically good. Yeah. And sadly, often victimized because you're nice.
Yeah.
You're a nice man and a trusting person and a because you expect that you're a genuine person, so you assume that other people are being genuine.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just, it's a whole forest full of Jerkosaurus rexes.
You said it. I mean, that no one could have said it better. Whole forest full of Jerkosaurus rexes.
It's true.
Or assholes. Don't
You're
be
a
an
gem.
asshole. I'm sorry.
You're a gem. I love that you put this out for everybody too that can't come visit Ray in real life, gets to have like Ray in their living room, or at least, you know, in their car or in their office.
So again, I don't know who watches the show or if anybody actually watches the show or where it goes, but it makes me feel good when people come up to me like, dude, I watch your podcast, and it makes me feel good because throughout the week I don't really get any feedback from the show from anybody. It's just me wondering, like, did that last show go over? Like, what the fuck happened with the last show? Was it good or not? Because I only listened to a couple of minutes of it, and then I go, all right, well, that's out there. So, but thank you.
You're welcome.
We're on show 61 here on the Cannashow / You Should Do a Podcast. So You Should Do a Podcast is going to be on Sundays now. No, Fridays now? No, Wednesdays now. It's just going to be on the channel. I'm not sure when it's going to be.
Good luck. You know what you're going to do? You're just going to set that alarm. You set that alert, and then whenever the wheel of days happens and it strikes, that's part of the fun of Ray, is it's just very...
I was going to go Tens Day or Moose Day or Fatter Day. I try to mix a day in there, right? To come up with a day in between. I tried staying up late one night, but it turns out it just goes into the next day.
Yeah, you're going to for sure do it on a day.
It's going to be a day.
And it'll be like a multitude of days. Like, not just one day.
I'm going to do a shirtless show, I think. Really get this ratings up.
I'll be out
Really
for
get
that
the
day.
numbers.
I'm going to call in sick for that day.
Really get the numbers up. Wear some short gym shorts.
That sounds free.
Knee-high socks.
Please.
Really get the numbers up.
Can it be the Halloween show?
Yeah. Where I go as a gym teacher.
Can it be a Halloween where you wear like little gross tube socks and like little white, like the running shorts that are like red with white piping and...
Yeah, but
like
I gotta get a really bad sunburn first.
And like a mesh tank top. Like a meshy, like not, you can't be bare chest. It's got to be really like a gross chest. Like it's got to be gross shirtless, which is like a mesh, like a meshy tank top. You look fabulous.
Get a couple of Anheuser-Busch in my hand, maybe a Pabst Blue Ribbon, and just get shit-faced. It's Halloween though.
You gotta bring your outfit together.
Listen, you gotta slow down on the drinking, everybody. Coming up with ideas like that. I think I'm gonna go for a cowboy. I'm gonna go as a cowboy for Halloween, right?
No one likes sloppy drunk, sticking up a broom like a stinky skunk. Fall on your face and your head goes clunk. Things spin around, throw up in your bunk. Nobody likes sloppy drunk, sticking up the broom like a stinky skunk. Nobody likes sloppy drunk. My Uncle Ed came over Christmas night and ate up all our food. That wouldn't be so bad, but then he went and drank up all the booze. He went and cussed my papa, now that was downright rude. You get liquored up in my house, son, I'm gonna have to read you the news. Nobody likes sloppy drunk, sticking up a room like a stinky skunk. Fall on your face and your head goes clunk. Things spin around, throw up in your bunk. Nobody likes sloppy drunk, sticking up a room like a stinky skunk. Nobody likes sloppy drunk. Was down at the Roundup bar one night, it was getting on about 2.
It's called the Poorhouse.
This cowboy, he was arm in arm with my old friend Betty Lou.
I said, hey, punk.
He ordered up a round of drinks, he was acting up a fool.
Stop being a dick.
He was ripping up on her dress and then hitting on her too. Nothing gets me more riled up than a cowboy acting
rude. I don't have to really even wear these.
So I grabbed him up by the scruff of the neck, and yes, I read that for the news. Nobody likes sloppy drunks, sticking up a room like a stinky skunk. Fall on your face and your head goes clunk. Things spin around, throw up in your bum. Nobody likes sloppy drunks, sticking up the room like a stinky skunk.
Go for it.
Nobody likes sloppy.
I mean, so that's why I suggest that you guys just stick to weed, man. Just get your card, figure out where the dispensary is going to be at in your town. No hangovers. Fuck hangovers. So you guys, right there, if you guys look at the sticker behind me, which is brought to you by the lovely ladies over at the Funky Bean Smoke Shop. Sorry I have not reached out to you guys yet or filmed your commercial that we're about to do. But that's just haven't yet. I've been so goddamn busy with the Cannashow. But nobody likes a sloppy drunk is a lesson I've learned over the last couple of weeks as well. You know what I mean? I went out to Indiana, and no one likes a sloppy drunk. Indiana is a very interesting place, man. It's, Indiana is like,
the Midwest Florida.
Yeah, that's
the Florida of the Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. That's why my parents are there.
I mean, it's amazing. Orlando's incredible, and Miami is delightful, of course. That's what I meant.
Guess what? DeMont is no fucking Orlando.
DeMont. Is that like Wheatfield, DeMont area?
All right, so
let me get on task.
Yeah, no, so hold on. So you guys, real quickly, we have Nikki give you some awesome cannabis news. But first, again, a couple of things I want to talk about. So the vaping illness mystery that was solved. I'm not going to get into that yet. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Ramon's going to jump in on that because apparently he's reading the whole story about it right now. Actually, he's probably not. I don't know what is he doing back there. Let's check in on Ramon. Ramon, we're going over to you right now. Ramon, live in the back of the house. What's happening back there?
It's kind of not quiet. The train's running back there.
All right. Did you see that the zoo aminals are on it?
Yeah, I've seen a few. They've escaped. They've been eluded.
We're going to turn your mic down because it sounds like everybody on the show is now on the train. You guys sit down. Everybody, you can't have any drinks on the train. Mr. Parton, you got 2 beers in your hand. You're spilling them all over the lady next to you. So you guys, we are going to give you some cannabis news. 5 Illinois dispensaries. Again, so the closer and closer we get to rec here in Illinois, they're going to start rolling out the licenses to these medical dispensaries that are already here, already in certain towns. So they gave out 5 as of yesterday or the day before. 5 Illinois dispensaries were awarded licenses to sell rec marijuana starting January 1st. Unfortunately, out of the 5, Naperville backed out of the whole goddamn deal. Now, Naperville, I don't know what your problem is. You know, I actually do know what your problem is. You guys, you sell too many Dockers in that goddamn town. That's first off, all right?
Don't be throwing shade on zip codes. It's not their fault that they're fancy people. I mean, it's not their fault. I mean, it just sometimes that's how the cards fall, I suppose.
It's down like a lot of you people.
I don't like the reefer madness.
My views of Naperville are not reflective upon Nikki's actual views upon Naperville at this moment. She'd like to say this as a disclaimer on the Cannashow that Ray's views on Naperville's failure to be part of the rec.
I'm under the impression that there are nice people in Chicago and mean people in Chicago, and I'm sure that there are nice people in I'm sure there are even people like that are involved in the city council, maybe not on the city council, but that are working hard to advocate for the cause. And sometimes, Ray, this is a great opening for me to talk about this next little bit, which is you can advocate for your own like municipality. You can do that. You can reach out. I can give you the web address, and with the web address they have this municipal toolkit, and it's literally like the step-by-step instructions, because a lot of the municipalities are just scared. I'm sorry, a lot of the municipalities are just scared to death. Like, they're just so freaking scared of what's going to happen. What's this look like? Oh my God, the kids in the street are going to be walking down the street smoking joints. Blah, blah, blah. Like, this municipal toolkit is amazing because it's going to walk through, if you are, you have to vote on things. Things have to step through. So it doesn't tell you yes or no. It just says because this is now legalized, these are the things you have to kind of decide on. And it's not that you must. It's that we just advise that you consider these things because these will be the contentious things.
You're saying as a town.
Yeah, and it's just like a toolkit. It's like a guidebook. Like here's the bumps in the road you're going to run into, and here are and it doesn't tell you what to think about it. Just here's what you're probably going to need to vote on now that it's legal. And it is pretty incredible for me because it makes it kind of I don't know, not destigmatizes it, but like demystifies it a little bit, makes it a little bit more something that's
tolerable if everybody in the town's involved. Sure.
Yeah. So like just education, I think, is the key to everything. I think education is the hub of all of it. I do want to talk about that too, because we talked about the municipal toolkit.
Well, so quickly, these are the towns that got it. So the licenses are going to the dispensaries in Effingham,
Right.
Mundelein, Canton, Naperville. Well, maybe they said it might still go there, and Joliet. So good for everybody, right?
That is
They're
good.
still deciding on it in Naperville. No joke. So they're still deciding. They're not saying it's not going to happen. They just have to convince a couple of people and show them basically the numbers and that it is going to be safe. Though, like a couple of officials said from Naperville, we just don't need to make money off of cannabis, and basically is what they said. But when they see the numbers, they go, okay, maybe.
Well, and that leaves the opportunity for, I mean, the beautiful thing is they can mess up and modify later. And I think the first year is just going to be kind of like people watching from outside the house in the window to the handful of places that are just
Sure.
going to go for it.
Sure.
And I think there's going to be a little bit of like, you know, when you're not the first one in, you don't get to build the brand as fast. Like, you know, kind of you get to be the Amazon when you're the first one in.
Yep.
People that are bold, like, what is it? Fortune favors the bold. So you get in, you go for it, you get rewarded.
I was again because I'm a narcissist, to spin it back to me again. That's why I like to be the first
It's
and
your show.
only live cannabis community comedy podcast and music show on the internet. I'm the first one and the only one. So I mean, first. But anyway, so yeah. Back to you.
It's all good.
So yeah. So the other thing I was reading about too with this new law was so certain dispensaries wanted to move to the towns where they were going to approve it to get in first, and part of the law now states that if you're a dispensary and you attempt to move to a town where you can become rec quicker, you're now going to forfeit your rec license altogether. You have to buy it at a completely new store. So I don't know if that's, I mean, that might be good for a small business, a guy who's, you know, a small dispensary. That might actually be a good thing, because now you have two stores, one for just, I don't know what the benefits would be or the downside of that would be. I mean, you're still making money off cannabis, right? I mean, you're still in the game.
Yeah.
You still got one store. So I'm all over the place. I'm wondering myself, what is the date that they're going to have rec? What do you think the date is that they're going to have rec, say, down on Navy Pier? Because what I heard is they're going to build a little mini Atlantic City close to Navy Pier, and you're going to be able to buy everything because they're going to keep it all for the tourist, nice and close, nice and convenient. Probably a badass bong shop right in front of the bean, beans and bongs, right there in front of the bean. I mean, I can imagine, right?
Well,
when do you think that's going to happen downtown?
I don't know. I think I just heard something about Vegas doing
the weed cart guy. You know, when you're at the beach and there's just a weed cart, that's going to be awesome. Right behind the churro guy. Yeah, or in front of the churro guy.
There was some issue about the vending machines. There was some issue about the cannabis vending machines in Illinois, I think.
Greenbox Robotics, I believe, is the company. Greenbox Technology. There's a company that's going to come to Chicago, and they're going to try to put basically Redbox for weed everywhere. You can scan your card and pick your product basically on a little tablet. I can't wait until they have like the Domino's, you know, the robot cars for Domino's that they have, until they have the robot Uber weed guy. That's super dope. That's coming. By the time I'm at least 45, I'm only 27 now, so it's coming. You know what? Dude, I look good for 27, don't I? I do lunges. Did I tell you I do lunges and toe touches? All right, I'm going to play another song.
Sorry, I just wanted to get your facts. I wanted to get my some factual information right.
We'll come back into a story
Sure.
to bring this all back around. But the 5, so there's one floating license. So if you're a town looking to get your, there's one up in the air. Could be yours to the highest bidder. I also want to give a quick plug for Weed Maps. I'm looking at you, Weed Maps. You can come and sponsor the show whenever the fuck you want. I mean, this is the Cannashow. You should already be here. I'll drive one of the cars around. Weed Maps. I really want to work with them.
I think that it is fun to promote companies that are just super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, You're not necessarily, that's not who you are. Like, I think that there's some cool shit out there that people would enjoy, and
Exactly. There's only a few companies that I would rep.
right, that you're like, the things that you find that you're like, ooh.
Yeah, where could you find weed? Now that's a company I can get behind. The Weed Maps, directing people towards cannabis.
I love Weed Maps.
It's only a good thing. They're just directing you towards your medication, right?
I found out about Weed Maps in Colorado, and it was a life changer. I loved it.
Did I play my? Oh, I didn't play my opener yet. I didn't play. Did I? I'll play it at the end.
Oh boy.
I didn't play it.
So can I
Yeah,
just?
go ahead.
So the municipal toolkit.
Yes.
The
I wanted
link-
to talk. You guys, real quickly. Back to cannabis news.
So back to the municipal toolkit.
Holy shit! This is a fucking fast train, man. How fast does this train go?
Oh my goodness. I love that it's important that we keep the door open.
The sounds of Chicago.
The L has to be, we have to
Live
capture the
from
L.
Chicago,
always.
Illinois. Sorry, I don't do that. I do that in the shower. Live from Chicago.
you do.
You're taking a shower. With Raymond, Vernon, Parton. Like the mountain. Parton the third. I do it in the shower sometimes. Anyway, go ahead.
Nope, that's all good.
There was a
Whenever you're
train
ready.
going by, you guys.
So the municipal toolkit, if you are looking to advocate for your community and
Get
you,
right in it. Get right in that microphone.
if you're looking to advocate for your community and you would like to basically tell them what to expect, or you have municipalities that are interested in learning more but don't know where to begin, they can go to the repcassidy.com/cannabis law info website. I think we have the link on here, but it's repcassidy.com/cannabis law info. And there's a bunch of stuff there. There's toolkits and fact sheets and lots of information, a lot of kind of myth busting there available. And it's from the pages of the legislators that wrote the law. So no guessing, no anything. You can find out all the information directly at repcassidy.com/cannabis law info. Thanks.
That segment was brought to you by Cannabis. Cannabis, having a bad day? Cannabis.
Well, it's super bitchin' that we are the only state in the union that has passed cannabis legalization via legislature.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yes.
And I love that it is, they've thought through a ton of this stuff. A ton of it. Like we talked about the community college thing. Like there's so much to this law that's so incredible.
Can we talk about that when we come? We're going to play a song.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about that, what you were talking about. I don't know, we have a weird sound over here. About the programs that they were offering in the city, all that stuff. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. We're going to smoke some sativa so I can wake up. And then we're going to have some more coffee. I'm going to play a song. And I'm going to dance with Ramon. We're going to really shake it out. You guys do the same thing. If you guys don't have your PJs on, you can put them on and hang out with me. Also, if you didn't subscribe, what are you waiting for? Go follow me on Instagram. I do some stuff on there. I might go live in a minute on Instagram after this next song just to show people like that we're live and say hey. But you guys, thank you for watching, for real. We're going to come back with some more cannabis news, a couple more songs, and just have fun. Thanks for hanging out, though. Nikki, thank you for being here on the show.
Oh, no problem.
Ramon, what's going on back there? Ramon, back in the newsroom. Ramon, the weather room. What's the weather outside, Ramon?
Well, so far so good. We're looking at about 70 degrees Fahrenheit tonight with a low of 62. So make sure tomorrow's going to be a little bit overcast. There's 10% chance of rain. But that's good for your crops if you're growing outside. If you're doing inside hydroponics, well, you know what to do, my friend.
Ramon.
Keep the light shining bright.
He just queued this song up and he didn't even know. Good job, Ramon.
Beautiful. Thing of beauty, really.
You guys get down. Water your plants. You guys water your plants. Stop buying all the overalls too, you guys. Now they're $137 on Amazon. Gosh, it's going way up. I said, oh my gosh. Guys, this is Javi. Good job, boy. live cannabis community comedy podcast on the YouTubes.
I hit it. I hit the post.
Javi, I thought you did a great job doing that song. Javi did a great job, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
That bong was fantastical. Live on the Cannashow, That was fantastic medication. What was that flower right there that I just hit? What was that?
That was Durban Haze from Nature's Grace.
That was fantastical. I really liked it. So here we're on the show. We're show 61. I really got to do one ad.
Not right now. I think you need more lipstick.
Thinking
Google
big.
Nest Hub. You look beautiful.
By Google Nest.
Bye. So yeah, we're here on the Cannashow, on the YouTubes. Next couple of weeks, again, like I said, it will be up everywhere. The show will be everywhere. Now that I'm home from Indiana, I have time to actually extract the audio and put it on all the sites and all the social media sites and every podcast fucking platform it needs to be on, finally. And I'm happy about that, because now a lot of these podcasts that decide to go live right away with their idea, right? Sometimes they fall on their face. I'm not saying my podcast didn't fall on its face. You guys can watch from show 1. You can actually watch me create this entire show. So that's why I'm happy to start doing it now, because I'll have like 80 hours of content for you guys to go back and watch from show 1 all the way to show 61. So you'll be able to go on Spotify and put in the Cannashow, or You Should Do a Podcast, and you can watch me create it like a year ago in my kitchen at my other house. I had this idea and I started putting the whole show together, and now we're 61 shows, almost, well, probably 70 shows if you think about the ones I didn't show you guys.
Right.
One of them I had a dress on, I was dancing, I was crying, everything was running down my face.
That was like an award-winning episode.
Spaghetti all over me too.
It's a shame that nobody...
I'll show you guys, maybe. I'll release that one day. But
I think we should do like a pay-per-view. Like where they've got a...
Patreon. I do have a Patreon channel. You can go there, and I should put all the... Oh my God. I'm putting every episode that I didn't want to show you guys up on my Patreon. You can go to Patreon.
Lovers, the people that are really the fanboys and fangirls can do it.
You can go there and be like, holy shit, he was losing his mind. So, again, my point in saying all this is, I will be up on every platform. You'll be able to go back and watch what the point of the show being created even was. I mean, You Should Do a Podcast slowly turned into the Cannashow, and now I have 2 shows. So it's going to be fun to put them up everywhere and actually see, just how it works out. With 100 hours of content, 80 hours of content, I'm not really sure, but I'm just happy it'll be up there. Anyway, I'm hungry. You guys have a taste for grilled cheese sandwiches right now? Oh my God. Anyway, I do. So you're watching the Cannashow. What up, Ramon? What's happening?
What's that Javi calls it? Quesadillas.
Javi. I know, Javi does call them quesadillas. Dude, Javi stabbed me yesterday in the thigh.
Yeah, but that's okay.
He did.
He was like a plastic fork.
Yeah, but it stuck deep in my thigh.
But in your soul, you really felt it.
I did, Javi. You jerk. We're not skating anymore together. All right, so let's get back into...
Be nice.
You get into the cannabis news here.
Okay.
I'm going to get another cup of coffee. Ready?
All right.
You're flying solo right now.
Sweet.
Ramon, you want to sit in here for a minute? You guys, I'm going to let them take over the show, and I'm going to get some coffee, because she ordered some really dope creamer. I'm not going to even lie to you guys.
I did. That was our groceries. Okay, guys. I have some cool information that I got. Was able to speak to a couple of the crafters of the recreational cannabis bill and found out some really interesting information. So I told you you can go to repcassidy.com dash cannabis law information or cannabis law info for more info. One of the cool things we learned was tax rate and THC potency are going to be related. So most affected by the higher tax rate is going to be concentrates, and that if you don't know already, nurse practitioners are now included and they get to do certifications.
That's exciting.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So some people are scared to talk to their doctor, but their nurse practitioner knows better, because I don't know, I find, just in my opinion, that sometimes physicians' assistants and nurse practitioners are more studied in cannabis than almost doctors seem to be.
And socially, they're different too. Like for some reason, doctors seem to have this kind of like stuffed shirt, kind of like stuffed collar kind of thing.
And archaic thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And then you ask them for a card, and they're just like, well, I don't know, we should explore other options. And you're like, no, I really,
Here, have
really
these
need
opioids.
this. Yeah, and the opioids are making it worse. Like, way worse.
Right. Here are these 12 pills. I don't want to give you cannabis. Here's these 12 pills.
Yeah.
And I have some samples right here in my office for you to start out easy.
Yeah, so people who are, whether it's CBD or they're doing, straight THC, I mean, there's 3 letters that you need in your life. Trust me on this one.
Truly. No, and so there's some other cool stuff about the law that I want to talk to you guys about. If you don't already know, and this is straight off that page I was talking to you about,
Right.
but there, in addition to assistance entering the regulated cannabis industry, there's going to be more opportunity available with wider range of business licenses. So beginning in October 2019, applications for up to 75 additional dispensaries for adult consumers will be available. Up to 40 new types of cultivator applications, including craft growers, will be available in the first year, with further growth possible. Applications will be available January 2020. Similarly, up to 40 processor licenses in which businesses create products made with cannabis will be available during the first year, with applications also starting in January. Transporter licenses will be available the first year without limits on the total number operating. So you're talking about that cannabis Uber.
It's out in Vegas. It's called Uber Smoke 420. And if you're in the Henderson area in Vegas, you happen to be on the Strip, you happen to be in your hotel, you're just a resident, you can Uber weed.
What's it called again?
Anywhere. It's Uber Smoke 420.
Is it an app or is it a website?
You can do it from their website. You can call them and make the order. It doesn't matter. You just have to be legally 21 and over, usually. And then if you have a card, I believe you get a discount for being a card carrier.
Oh, right.
And right on their website, they have an application directly for the card. So, and if you want to transport, if you're over 21, you fill out your information. You have to have a legal Vegas license or a legal Cali license in order to drive it around. The cool thing is, minimum orders, you can do like a $50 minimum order. It's like a $10 delivery, and a $75 minimum order is also maybe like a $25 delivery, because they're gonna go straight to the Strip.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making it convenient for you. So you'd never have to leave. You can be sky high. You can do whatever you like. You can get rid of those pains and those worries, and they will bring the weed directly to you. And it works. It's brand new. It's been out about 4 months, I believe, maybe a little longer. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like the first. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be more, but I mean, imagine that. Like,
I can't even tell you how excited I am to be a Canada tourist that doesn't have to be afraid. Like going to Puerto Rico, like in 2012, and trying to find cannabis was
you run into a guy
sketchy endeavor. So
you run into like a Rodrigo, and like he's like, "No, I got you. It's cool."
I love the idea of like being just on the Strip and somebody coming up and going, "Ding ding! Here's my license plate. Here's what it looks like. Here's a picture of the guy.
That's it.
Here's your bag. Have a lovely day."
And the cars they have, like they're really like they're really like obvious. They have like the little triangle on top that lights up.
Are they safe?
They're real safe. The one thing I know is they do not carry more than your order.
Okay, good.
They only have one order on board each time. So like if they were to run into a situation, they're not going to lose their shirt and everything. Just their car and their dignity a little bit.
Lovely.
But yeah, that's really cool. I mean, like I said, it was an option while we were out there, and they have everything. If you've never been to a dispensary, you should go sometime. They have THC lemonade, THC gummies. They have a lot of things that, if you don't like smoking, they have alternatives for it. If you are somebody who vapes, they have the cartridges. If you are looking for that kind of stuff, like they have that kind of stuff. It's actually really cool.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, it's I would say it's almost genius. And the thing about Vegas is there's a bit of a tax on legal weed, but it goes to the education system, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I think seriously, like, you're either gonna pay extra money to your dealer, or you're gonna pay extra. Like,
wouldn't you rather pay it to the government, who's gonna like take care of your kids who are being educated, who are learning to,
We're paying the teachers more now.
Exactly.
So we gotta pay for that.
Exactly.
So let's just all smoke more to help the teachers. That's what we're doing. We're supporting the teachers.
Heck yeah.
With every blunt.
A green education.
Maybe not blunt. We're gonna call it a pre-roll, because that's gonna be how they're probably gonna sell it.
They do have pre-rolls. Yeah, that's they're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. Some of the other stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about the adult use legalization bill is that it says Illinois residents are going to be allowed to possess any combination of the following: 30 grams of flour, 5 grams of concentrate, and 500 milligrams of THC contained cannabis-infused products. So your edibles, your topicals, or anything like that.
Right.
So 30 grams, 5 grams, 500 milligrams.
That seems awesome.
I feel like that's a solid amount to be able to carry around and have to medicate yourself.
I think it's important, especially like there's a lot of people that need that, if not a little bit more.
And the variations of each.
Exactly.
Because some days it's a topical, and you can have multiple ailments, and variations of cannabis consumption can help you in different ways.
It's incredible how the combination of things are helping people. You know, it's just really cool.
It's true. So there's some pretty amazing things going on. They have stuff about the revenue, where the revenue is going to go. There was stuff about home grow. I mean, a lot of people probably already know
Guys,
this.
someone wants me to take my clothes off. You gotta take your clothes off.
You probably should listen to them, because they are not the people in your head. This is just regular people.
We got some good comments here, guys.
Oh boy. I love that of all the comments he wants to open with, people want me to take my clothes off.
Yeah, I don't know. No one ever asked him to put more clothes on. That's a thing. He should wear some kind of like that, like a cult leader robe. I think he should have like a purple and black robe. He should be wearing that.
Yes.
That's important. He's got another one there. What'd they say, Ray? What'd they say?
Just people saying what's up. Somebody asking, is that Johnny Drips? Someone say take that clothes off. Someone saying, what the fuck? Who's the creepy dude in the back?
Oh,
now
yeah.
he's up front.
Okay.
What the fuck? Hello, hit that bong. Someone's watching. We got Vaping Fagan is watching. Saint Vapes is watching. Fire him up.
Hello,
Dan
Saint
Fuller
Vapes.
is watching. What up, Dan Fuller? Mike Barr's watching. Barry Hot. Oh, Barry Hot. I see what you did there. Barry Hot. You must be.
He very high.
No, I went on a cruise and there was a lot of. Never mind.
Give it up to Saint. Give it up to Saint Vapes, and to the vape store that was really nice to me out in Lombard, Planet of the Vapes. I just really love your name.
Vapes. Now that's a good.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I don't even care if the place is cool. That's a fantastic name.
That's the word. That's what I'm talking about.
But I hope it's not one of those shitty shops that it's like an amazing name and you walk in and it's like one little rack of glass pieces that are
we have what we have
at the gas station.
We have what we have.
we have what we have. We have 3 glass chillums in a drawer.
You like THC?
And a very ugly wood hitter box.
You like CBD? You like Pokemon cards? We have what we have. It's like, okay, thanks.
That's so funny. So there's so much cool stuff in the law. I think, like we talked about earlier, my favorite thing is the college, the community college thing.
Yeah.
Do you want me to talk about it? Ray, do you want me to talk about the community college thing?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, fantastic. I'll talk about that right now.
I'm going to use the bathroom in here. I'm going to go, you guys, the tennis courts on the other side. Dude, they put tennis courts in on the other side. You see what's going on over there?
There's an expansion happening here every time I come.
What is that man doing in the towel?
I got an Olympic-sized pool I put in. But the tennis courts, it was a bad idea to put the tennis courts right next to the pool, because if you go out of bounds, you're just playing water polo with a little ball, basically.
I think it's pretty cool. When you invited Serena and Venus Williams over, and they accepted.
Are those men twins?
They've accepted the challenge.
They did.
They're all about
Hello,
it.
ladies.
Oh, they were ladies.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, no, they have mustaches, but they're women. They are women.
You know, it's a Mediterranean look. Everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if they don't have chest hair that's like knuckle deep, you don't want to be with them.
Boy.
And they keep you warm in the wintertime. Yeah, it's like a full chinchilla.
A swarthy lady.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. She's well kempt.
I love it.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay, so to wrap this up with a terrible bow, just to finish up, it is one of the coolest things about it is the Department of Agriculture is going to work with community college boards to create 8 pilot programs in the state, spread among geographical regions. Now, of the 8, 5 are going to be awarded to schools that have a student population more than 50% low income.
Okay.
So that means opportunity to have a cannabis education, and most of it is going to go to communities with low-income families, which is fantastic. The courses are going to be allowing participation of students to work and study and grow live cannabis plants and prepare them for a career in the legal cannabis industry.
This is massive because a lot of these kids really don't have any other outlets, and this is giving them a lot more opportunity for that. Ray, you came back with your clothes on.
I got kicked out again.
Oh, jeez. This guy.
For having too much clothes on.
Oh, okay. Well,
kicked me out. I gotta go back and see what's happening.
Try your Eurokini. I like that one. The one with the little pot leaf right in the front. That's a good one.
So if you aren't up for the community college or cannabis education just yet, there is HempStaff is holding this event.
Okay.
It's going to be September 21st. It is, I think it's on Eventbrite maybe, but if not, you can just Google this. HempStaff is what it's called. They do like training. So in the state of Illinois, there's like for one dispensary job that opens, 200 applicants apply for that job. So these kind of seminars allow you to be certified, and that definitely gives you another additional opportunity, an additional leg up, and an additional way to stand out when you apply for these positions.
Gotcha.
It's about $250. It's a few hours, but the cooler thing is you do the seminar, and then if the law changes, if anything changes, and they bring the seminar back again, you get to go to the seminar again for free. So you get to go to the next one and like just continue your education.
Gotcha.
Which I think is pretty rad. Like I think that's a great way to like the $250 is a tough, like especially if you're.
It is, but I mean, especially if you're part of the culture. I mean, you're already spending $250 on your habit, anyways, or on your medication, anyways. So, $250 is an investment in what you're going to be doing for the future, especially if they're allowing certifications beyond that. Like the new courses come out, and that's wonderful.
Well, and it's not just that; it's so great because it teaches you about they teach you about the ailments and the strains, and then the terpenes and how everything kind of plays together, and the cannabinoids and kind of all the science elements to it, all the kind of bedside manner aspects of it to good patient care, just to be a nice person, to be an understanding person.
Sure. I think what got me the most was I didn't realize that different strains would help different ailments. I had no clue. I was like, okay, what's going on here? Well, this one's called the Grinch, and this is what it does. And honestly, it was just, I always thought it was about getting high, but it's about medicating. It's about healing, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, and it was about self-medicating for so many people.
Right.
And people that didn't even know that they were self-medicating. People that just, oh, he's got a problem. Well, some people deal with trauma in different ways. Some people deal with stress in different ways. Some people deal with anxiety or depression in different ways. And drinking is just not the best option.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's a massive depressant, and it just makes things worse. I mean, look at how many people have done bad things, Whereas, when you're high or when when you're medicating through, THC, it's kind of helping to elevate you to kind of get back where you are. If you are anxious a lot, if you have that anxiety, if you have real social anxiety, people who are like really people who are there's a slot machine in the other room, and Ray, it sounds like Ray just hit a jackpot.
There's an ice machine button, like a cough button.
Oh,
right there.
Gotcha.
Running by with those.
I don't even know where to go from this. Ray, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I had to run downstairs real quick, you guys.
He's reported in. He's doing well. He's checked in safe during the Hurricane Dorian. Excellent.
Sweet sassy Molassy. So, if you want to do the HempStaff thing, you can Google them. It's info@hempstaff.com.
Check it out.
I don't have any, they're not reimbursing us or anything. I just thought it was a super cool thing. So if you are kind of want to educate yourself and get into all the nuance, and even if you're just kind of a nerd for it, like the legality and stuff, it's really just very interesting. And it definitely, if you want to do anything in the cannabis business, it's just an excellent way to really kind of broadly understand the industry a little better.
Which is beyond, it's like unbelievable that it's actually like happening in our time.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And how many times I told people, 10 years ago, I remember my friend Jeremy kind of first saying, what we should do is regulate and taxate. And I was like, what?
Yeah, like,
it's a thing?
Yeah, exactly.
What? And he's like, oh yeah, totally. They're going to start doing it. There's legislation. People are talking about it. You're mental. No, you're not. No way.
It's real. I mean, think about it. I mean, how is it getting in America anyways? I mean, it's all regulated. Somebody's getting paid somewhere.
Right.
And so it's like, well, why not just let it be regulated and let the government pay their, we'll pay taxes to them since we're fighting to get it anyways.
Well, and that's the other thing is we've been doing it, people have been doing it illegally.
People.
Buying their drugs illegally. And so even hypothetically, if you're a dealer, okay, so you have a decent understanding, you are maybe a street dealer. Well, when you want to go work at the dispensary, you can't put on your application, I was a dealer for 10 years. Like that's.
I had a mobile pharmacy. It was a Hyundai.
Right, but if you say I went to a seminar, it doesn't have to be this one. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones. I don't know of any, but I'm sure there are other ones.
Right.
But you go to this thing, and now all of a sudden you can put that on your resume, and that makes you distinctive. Now, when you're in there and you're talking and you're speaking of knowledge, and you've done a lot of research, It's just your research skills.
Gotcha. That's really cool. So anybody who's interested, it's what is it? HempWorks.
It's HempStaff. Is the HempStaff.com is the page.
Gotcha. Yeah. HempWorks is something totally different.
Still a cool place though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that was worth talking about, because we were just to shift gears from the, that to the medical, is we were talking about the nurse practitioner certification. So we're talking now about the medical instead of the recreational. One of the things that people were talking about were the edibles, that the regulations that changed for smokable cannabis for minors.
Okay.
So here's where I see some problems in this. So we talked about this, I think, before, is kids that need strain-specific medication. So when you buy an edible from a company, very rarely is it, sour diesel or, white widow or something. Very rarely is it something like they'll give you a 1-to-1. But if there's specific strains, as some of you have, like your favorite strain that works the best for you, that's when you need to be able to purchase flower and be able to cultivate it into different things.
Right.
Be able to process it into oil as you need to, to turn it into an edible, turn it into whatever you need to make it, and not necessarily ruining the opportunity for kids. I know that I did hear from the legislators that the medical bill is different and it's going to be modified and tinkered with as it goes. So the good news is the recreational cannabis bill is what it is. But the medical bill is always being kind of modified and tinkered with because that's the very nature of healthcare. So that's the good news, is they're looking at kind of adjusting the bill, and they haven't kind of made any firm choices about that. And if you have concerns about your child, or you're the minor or something like that, and that it directly affects you, and you can make a compelling case. And some of the most compelling cases are, these strains work for me, and I can get gummies, but they're not like they're not like Harley Quinn gummies, and so there's certain things that really, really work. And so if you can make a compelling case for why you should be able to get strain specific flower, reach out and make your case. And then also contact legislators, states, not your U.S. congressmen, just to be really clear, your state senators and your state representatives. Those are the people that are modifying the recreational cannabis, or not the recreational cannabis, but the medical cannabis bill. So those are the people that you would speak to, is your state representative and your state senators. You can Google those people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you have opinions, thoughts, frustrations, or alternative ideas, reach out, send emails, contact them.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a great job over here.
Well, thank you, Ray. It's nice.
I love watching this, you guys.
It's nice to be part of this. It's very symbiotic. It really works.
Yeah, good.
She's very knowledgeable, and I'm easy on the eyes, so this works. Yeah.
You guys have fun.
Like velvet in my ears.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go. Listen, I got a couple of tickets to go on a cruise. So if you guys want to take over for the next couple of weeks, have at it.
We could do that.
I'll leave the key under the mat.
We're gonna need
on the 75th floor. You know where we're at.
We're gonna need access to that tennis court and the pool.
It's still under construction, but
if we could, we'll just go there and we'll just sit in the bottom of the pool and smoke.
Look, I like your attitude.
There you go. We'll invite Cypress Hill. It'll be awesome.
Are you still down to let us? You're gonna smoke on New Year's Eve, or is this gonna happen?
It could
happen on New Year's Eve.
It could happen. I don't want to confirm nor deny.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna do that show live.
Can you say Did you say your first dab?
Yeah.
Well, when I was in California, my band was performing, and I went to a party, and so we were doing the show, and everyone is just like high as a kite. And I just walk in, I'm just like, no big thing. I've never smoked in my life before. This is true. This is still true. But I really endorse people who are trying to legalize marijuana. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. When I was in Cali, this guy named Vito came in a wheelchair. He and his wife sat down at a table. Young dude. He was in his 20s. And he's like, hey, buddy. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, you ready for a dab? He's like, 1 for 3, 2 for 5. And I'm like, dad? And he's like, no. He's like, he pulls out this like wax, this sheet of wax, and he goes, takes out a toothpick, and he starts putting it in his pipe. I go, before I get into this, let me say, I play with the band. He's like, oh, well, then your dab is free. And I go, let me go tell the band. Now, the band had been smoking since we were in Vegas. So when I get there, their eyes are cash, and I go, guys, this guy Vito, the guy in the wheelchair at the table with his wife, wants to dab. And they're like, oh, Senor Raymond, if I get any higher, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. Like, we gotta play this show. And I go, oh, okay. So I go back and I go, listen, it would be kind of dangerous if anybody who's that high could not handle this dab. I don't know what a dab is, and I don't think I should do it. You have like a torch there. You're like firing up that glass. Like it looks like it's becoming molten. And he goes, I go, but my friend here, she would like a dab. Can she have mine? He's like, oh sure, come on. And I watched her go from like 0 to like Dabville in like so many seconds.
Dab testing.
And she was hardcore.
That's the good stuff.
She was pretty much good for like the next hour. And then we found ourselves walking on the beach, and we were just like, I'm like, is everybody okay? And they were just like zoned. They were gone. I'm like, how did we get here? Like we were at Santa Monica Pier. I'm like, it looks great on television, by the way. I love you, Los Angeles. I love California, but Santa Monica, something's going on with that pier. But it was my first time walking around and enjoying myself. I've got a lot of pains, and my doctor always prescribed, painkillers, and I was using them for a long time. And I asked him about getting a medical marijuana card, and he told me I couldn't do it until after my surgery. Well, I'm coming up on 1 year anniversary of my surgery. I had to check in with my surgeon, not to go back to see my doctor. It is possible. It will be legal, but I think having the card is going to be the best bet.
Absolutely.
Like hands down. Like if you haven't
preaching that for real.
If you guys have not applied for your card yet, please do it. And those people who have already got the card, tell your family, friends, tell people out there. Write to the Cannashow. Just tell us if you need help finding out exactly how to do it. We'll send you the links. It's no problem. It's really, really, really easy.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, there's just so much. There's so many reasons, but I feel like the strongest reasons, my two favorite reasons to get your medical card are, realistically, is that you can grow your own plants.
Awesome.
And that if you have a medical cannabis card, it is frequently honored in different states that also have medical cannabis laws.
Amazing.
So many states don't have recreational legalization, but states that have medical cannabis, or like I said on the last show, when I went to Puerto Rico, like we called the dispensary and we're like, can we use our medical cards at the medical dispensary in Puerto Rico? And they're like, are they valid cards? Sure. And I was like,
yeah, there you go.
I love this place. Like, so that's that. To me, those are the two like kind of reasons to do it. Like, sure. Is it more expensive? Yeah. Do you get an allotment that's specific to you even when rec sells out? Yeah, you do. That's certainly written into the legislation.
That's cool.
So,
I'm glad they had that for you on the island. That's I think you said you visit in 2012?
In 2012 when I went, no, they didn't have recreation or medical cannabis.
But when you were there in 2012, you were just like, where do we go from here?
Yeah, that was a strange visit to Puerto Rico, and it was really quite an interesting endeavor until we found some really lovely people that had
access.
Just go to the beach. Go to the beach.
It was a lovely thing to be we were adjacent to a very large resort.
Okay.
And so there was a handful of fellas that were just kind of wandering the beachfront, interacting with some of the
little
tourists.
Beachcombers. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, they were friendly fellas.
Gotcha. So what's your favorite dispensary around here? Where do you like to go?
There are a few that I like to go to around here, but honestly, my family and stuff live in the south suburbs.
Okay.
So I go to a few places like more down south.
All right.
Probably one of the places I like to hit the most is 3C, just because I like the location of it, and plus it's like right next to Heroes. I know it's moving by the mall, which I'm not nearly as excited about.
Sure.
I mean, it's cool. The place is cool. It's boss. I like everything about it, but it's also right next to Heroes, which is one of my favorite sports bars.
Okay.
Good
That's
food.
Cool.
So, and the staff's super cool. Like it's, there's lots of counters. I think there's like 6 counters or something when you go in there, and I like the pre-orders. It's 3C Compassionate Care. And they're one of the places that got the recreational license. So I don't know how that's going to go down for sure with them, but that's usually when I'm kind of in that area. I like to go in.
Are they expanding the building at all? Or it's going to be the same size? That's a lot of concern with most dispensaries if they're getting their license to go.
I don't want to speak out of school, but last I heard they were actually buying. By the Joliet Mall, they were buying a mattress firm space.
Oh, that's cool.
Seriously, like by the mall, like in its own building.
Just like leave the mattresses in there and you could smoke and take
But
a
I
nap.
think that was supposed to be when it was medical. I think they were applying for that even when they were just trying to expand their medical dispensary. And now, so I would assume that that's going to kind of modify the plan. But the other dispensary that I think is super cool is Greenhouse in Morris.
What?
Have you ever been?
I know where Morris is. I've never heard of Greenhouse.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's on so I feel like a lot of the dispensaries are kind of in industrial parks or something like that. Like this one in Morris, you're driving down Route 6.
That on a couple of shows. I'm going to discuss that.
It's like you can see it in a huge, big sign. It's like massive, like this big old sign. So if you're ever just in the hills of Illinois, like west, like a half hour west of Joliet, like it's a ways out there. But if you're out camping or something, like switch over for the weekend and check out this dispensary. They got like stained glass and wood from the World's Fair or something in there, like their bar, like
That's really cool.
The Bud Bar is.
Sure.
It's just really super funky, like really neat, and then big leather chairs, so you feel like you're in like a killer shrink's office or something, like in big fancy chairs. It's it's pretty sick. Like but it's a cool little joint, and it's a specifically green building. It's like a big pitched green house like building, so it's pretty cool.
That is a great plan.
Yeah, I'm always into new dispensaries though. Okay, I'm like a nerd for it. I like to check out new places and travel, and yeah.
I liked when I was on the East Coast. They had it was still kind of up and coming, but it was just won't name any places, but the place to eat afterwards. Everybody, the word super, but because they're from the East Coast, they say Supa. So there's a sandwich place called Supas, and they basically cater to people who use cannabis or alcohol. And they're just these giant sandwiches with absolutely everything and anything you can imagine. Like if you got a Philly cheesesteak and fries, it's all in the sandwich. If you want tater tots and ham, it's in the sandwich. Supas is one of the craziest places, and they have eating contests. So if you're well medicated and quite hungry, which you will be, Supas is the place to be on the weekends.
Oh, there's a place near Joliet, same deal. It's not far from the dispensary, and they have like a pizza puff burger. Like the buns are just a pizza puff. Like it's a cheeseburger with pizza puff buns, and then they have another one that's a cheeseburger with 2 grilled cheeses are the buns. Like a set of grilled cheeses as the. So I'm like, this place is like stoner menu.
We could really go into like a whole faction of nutrition and the brain. We could talk about food addiction. We could talk about a lot of stuff at this point. Like,
goodness, totally.
This is going to spur into a lot of different things.
I'm sorry, yes sir.
Let me give Ray his headphones back and give him back the mic because he's antsy to talk to you guys.
Putting down bad facts about those.
I'm sorry. It's just how it's how I live.
I do want one of those now. Can we?
Yes.
Go for a ride though.
So I made the mistake. To be real, I should have ordered it at the restaurant. It's because I ordered it for delivery, and like just because we were so curious. So I order it, the pizza puff burger, which I think is going to be amazing. Except I don't think it through. So I order it for delivery.
Ramon, thank you for doing that. Being on the show.
He's coming. He's not leaving, is he?
Yeah, he's got to go. Serena, they invited you over there.
Oh, ladies.
They're waving you over. So,
I gotta get my glasses on.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
Go ahead. What were you saying? You ordered one of those.
So it basically like overcooked the burger. So by the time the burger arrived, the fried pizza puff that was just piping hot just cooked and overcooked the burger. So it was my fault. I'm sure if I ate it at the restaurant, it would be spectacular. But I was like a knucklehead and did not think through like, this is probably not a great plan to order it and then let it drive all the way to my house. Or not my house, but my boyfriend's house, and then all of a sudden run into that problem.
I saw a Krispy Kreme hamburger that looked like I would die if I ate it. Oh my guys, I get real quickly, you guys. We've been going for too long, and I told my sponsor, my new sponsor, that I would talk about them tonight. They're coming back to Chicago again. I keep talking about. I like to rep old companies that used to be here in Chicago that need to be part of the Cannashow. I had no idea that they were coming out with Fisher Price. It's like a Fisher Price My First Bong kit. Comes with a cleaning thing, but it's not sharp. You know what I mean? It comes with a lighter, but doesn't actually light. Comes with a whole. It's not my idea. They came up with it, but they are sponsoring the show now. So.
I don't wanna grow up, find a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
The Bong kit was weird,
though. Got the best for so much less. You really flip your lip. From bikes to trains to
Bongs and stuff.
It's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz.
I don't wanna grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More gays, more toys. Oh boy, I wanna be a Toys R Us kid.
They put me in a time machine.
They said that I was allowed to say cannabis kid. They said that.
They gave you permission?
Yeah, because we were talking about that
Inspector
earlier.
Gadget may return after these messages.
Was that the Claw? Dr. Claw?
Nice.
It sounded like Dr. Claw.
Do you guys want to hear a great theory?
It's coming on after the show.
You want to hear
What's
a
up?
great theory about Inspector Gadget?
Yeah.
Sure.
Inspector Gadget was a robot built by Penny.
Who?
His niece.
Penny.
Oh,
Penny the Brain.
well, I believe that. I mean, it's a good theory.
But the theory is that the original Inspector Gadget was so disfigured in an explosion, he became Dr. Claw. And his whole sole purpose is to destroy Inspector Gadget because he wants the love back that Penny.
Why are you ruining my childhood?
I'm here for you, buddy.
I think this is what happens when people take, like, they candy flip? Like, they just take everything they can take in their body at the same time and then watch Inspector Gadget. That's what happens. This is ultimately, the bigger problem is binge watching while on high amounts of psychedelic drugs. And stop doing that.
Well, it was the Williams sisters that brought it up. They were in between.
Are you sure their names?
30 Love.
William. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're lovely girls.
They're wonderful women. They are well made up. Great endorsements, but they love your endorsement with the Toys R Us and your new Jeffrey.
I'm gonna remind you again what's coming on after the show, just because I have to keep. You guys, season 1 was right. March 15th, 1985.
Gonna drop kick my jacket.
Streaks on the China, never mattered before. Who cares? When you drop kick the jacket, and you can't turn the door.
You do it so disturbingly well.
I didn't know what he said. When I was a little kid, I used to do it. I used to do it.
It's disturbing.
Can you tell that I was raised on television?
Yes. Do it again. Do it. This part.
You can get new arrival. Arrival's more than your survival. And we just might live the high life yet.
I stand by.
Here in the apartment, raised on television, the Different Strokes family. Ray, you should incorporate your picture in here somehow.
I feel the need again to thank your mother.
I told you guys that I was raised on television. If you thought I was joking, Ramon's bringing in the proof.
Yeah, but she made sure you're hilarious.
You guys.
She let you watch hilarious television.
But before you could show that on the show, I had to take myself. I actually photoshopped myself in there as a little kid. When I was 6, I made a little picture, put a picture of myself in there.
No, you didn't.
I wanted to grow up in that family. I did. I always thought those bunk beds were super dope. These kids just came off the street and got a super dope set of bunk beds like that. You know how long I had to beg my mom to get bunk beds?
So
These
you
kids,
felt like the foster kids, like the orphan children.
Yeah.
But they had nothing but their genes.
I know.
The orphan kids.
Nothing but their genes.
Several of them grew up to have terrible drug problems.
A stepsister that got into
You felt
cannabis.
jealous.
Yeah,
Remember that? She got into drugs and stuff early.
Something harder.
Terrible
she
things
got
happened to those.
To the sister. What
Aren't you
happened to
lucky
the
you
sister?
weren't?
Oh yeah, things would have been really bad.
Yeah, your family. You're pretty safe at your family. With your family.
My bunk beds were way much. Yeah, they
That's
were
it.
safer.
You ultimately, at the end of the day, just wanted bunk beds.
Just came full circle, you guys. Thank you for that.
You just wanted bunk beds. Never too late. We can get you some bunk beds, my friend. I'll check out the marketplace. We'll get you some bunk beds.
They got nothing but their genes. They got different strokes.
What other was my last song that I was going to play for you guys? Did I have one more picked out or not? I didn't.
I'm just excited about your entire television, your 80s television review show. That's going to be really cool.
Which one is that?
Smoking in the 80s.
The third one.
Smoking in the 80s with Ray Parton. Pew, 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 pew. It's going to be great.
It's going to make it really cool.
All right, you guys, so
Thanks, Ray.
this has been a fantastic Cannashow with Nikki, Ramon, and Ray. Javi, I'm not giving Javi any props because he stabbed me in the leg yesterday, you little jerk. Take your lift off your foot. He wears a
it
lift.
wasn't even your, like, exaggerating. It was a spork, first of all.
Yeah.
He didn't get to your bone, but he definitely got through the first layer of your epidermis.
The first thing I heard him say is, "Let me see if it sticks." He said, I heard him say that. And then he picked his arm up and came down full swing, you guys.
It's such a thick accent, though. How did you hear that?
I can hear Javi when he talks through a crowded restaurant. little son of a bitch.
It did stick, though.
He
I
owes
think
me
this is a
$35
testament
for
to how
rent. He
strong
said-
you are, is that the spork stuck straight into your leg. Stayed.
It was grade A meat right there. It got me
It's
right in
amazing.
the thigh.
It was really a strong spork, is really what it speaks to, the strength of the plastic.
KFC is really up their game.
So the people
that game.
It's all the people who purchased the sporks
It's
at
no
the Taco
lunchroom
Bell
spork.
company.
That is.
Toy Story 4 was like Forky. Like straight up hardcore. They were
for
DreamWorks.
I'm gonna play the just
Pixar.
one more time, just to go out. You guys, thank you for being on the show, though. I don't know which version this is, but let's see what it is.
Look, Ray, let's not do nothing stupid.
Hey, look, Ray, we'll make a new deal. Whatever make you happy.
Okay, you guys. Thank you for watching the show. We went an hour and 14 minutes. If you didn't subscribe to the channel already, I got a message from somebody who said, I love that you're doing this with the show right now.
Oh, cool.
So that's
Thanks,
pretty good.
guys.
We're going to do more with the show. We're going to add more people. We have some comedians coming on, some people with bands coming on. We have more people involved in the cannabis industry coming on the show. Again, I plan on taking a month off, but I just can't wait to talk to you guys. So if you want to be part of the Cannashow, or you should do a podcast, go ahead and hit me up on Instagram at the Cannashow, or on my Facebook at Facebook, RAYMON or PARTON.3. Just find me. You can find me anywhere. www.youshoulddoapodcast.com will direct you to everything. So you guys go back and watch all the videos, subscribe, tell a friend, and tune in on Sunday. Tune in on Wednesday and Friday.
The days of the days.
It's going to be a day.
Set that subscription alert. That's all you gotta do.
Click the bell.
Be part of the party.
Okay, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ramon, thank you for being part of the show today. And for talking. And listen, you guys are fantastic on the show. I see a spin-off here.
We should begin psychotherapy.
You guys going to do it. Again, we talked about adding a show. We have 14 shows on this channel now, so you guys are going to get the 15th.
I love it. Thanks, my brother.
And you ain't got shit to do. All right, you guys. Have a good night.
Hey Sam, big huge fan, first time caller. Here's my piece. If marijuana is not legal,
Javi, you want to get on the show right now, dude?
I have
Come on.
no faith left in humanity.
Come on, get out here.
Period. Everyone likes
All right.
smoking weed.
See you one time.
Thousands of years, they're not going to stop anytime soon. You know, it makes everything better. It makes food taste better. It makes music better. It makes sex feel better, for God's sakes. It makes shitty movies better, you know?
This is it, man. This is what your grandchildren have a future.
That's amazing. Well, got the weed in the bag.
Nice.
Okay.
You are going to light these two ends while I light this end.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready.
As your governor, I will be committed to helping us become the fastest growing big state economy in the nation. I'll be our state's best chief marketing officer to attract jobs and businesses to Illinois. We'll bring capital and technical assistance and mentorship to help Illinoisans across our state to start and build new businesses and new jobs. Our economic success depends upon that. In the interest of keeping the public safe from harm, and in the interest of expanding true justice in our criminal justice system and advancing economic inclusion, I will work with the legislature to legalize, tax, and regulate the sale of recreational cannabis in Illinois.
Good night, you guys. You guys, tuck your loved ones in. Don't forget to pay your phone bills and stuff, and don't forget to subscribe and find me on Instagram and all the good stuff. And don't forget to write me a strongly worded letter in crayon if you want to. And if you want, you can find me at youshoulddoapodcast.com. Have a great night.